All right. Today on the Agency Excellence Podcast, I'm pleased to welcome Jameka Whitten. Founder and CEO of JSW Media Group, a boutique PR firm and brand management firm serving fashion, entertainment, business, and C-suite executives. Jameka, excited to have you on the show today.
I am super excited to be here. Thank you so much, Chris, for having me.
Of course, it's my pleasure. Thank you for coming on. So, jumping into things, what has been the number one growth lever that you feel has helped you scale your agency?
Learning how to delegate and ask for help when I needed it. I was your typical entrepreneur who was like, I can do it all, right? I am a solopreneur. At first I was a solopreneur and I'm just like, I have to wear all these hats and I need to do all these things and I don't need help, right? Yeah, not the case at all. So being able to scale effectively happened when I expanded my circle and I really started to lean into the very smart people who were around and asking for referrals of support staff that could help. So one of the best things I did was hire a business strategist, which was wonderful, and also hiring an executive assistant. Those two things changed my life and really helped me to focus in on the things that matter, working on the business, not in the business.
Got it. Okay. So, business strategist and then EA. In that order or at the same time?
Actually, in that order. My business strategist is like, what are you doing? You need help on the day-to-day, on the organizational part. You're great about making sure clients are taken care of and you can give them all the, sage advice, but you are not taking it yourself. So yeah, especially since I work with C-suite executives and I know what they need and I see their support staff and I see how it all works. And yet, me as a CEO, I'm like, oh yeah,
I got this.
I'll be doing the same thing.
Got it. Okay. And given that, once you filled, you got an EA in place, you had a brand strategist. Was the brand strategist more focused on your type of business, or was it, business strategist, was it more focused on, like boutique marketing agency type businesses, or was it just kind of overall?
It was overall, honestly. I found someone who had a very strong financial background as well, and not necessarily heavy in the communications and marketing industry. I'm in brand new, not really knowing that, and being able to come in with a clear lens and being able to be truly objective without, how marketing we get into it and we're like, oh, well, this has to look this way and this has to sound this way. And we forget about the bare bones of business sometimes. And it's really refreshing to have someone come in who has a completely different background saying, okay, this isn't working. This is what structure should look like. This is what you should be doing. This is how you need to reach out to prospective clients. And, it's been really cool learning from each other.
Got it. Yeah. I think the financial component is oftentimes tossed to the side and it's like, we'll figure that out. And then you're kind of like stuck, like, okay, you got to have that in place. So that makes sense. I'm curious, Jameka, now that you have established a level of success inside of your business, what does the next level look like for JSW?
Ooh, the next level for JSW looks like me stepping out of the day-to-day. And I am super excited about that. It may not happen next year. It may not happen the year after that, but we are on track for that to happen very soon. I've been identifying really great talent to come in and do what I'm doing because I want to be freed up to do more consulting for, more one-on-one consulting and also more of the mission-driven work that I do in addition to JSW. So working more with other vegan businesses and animal rights organizations where my passion is. Also social justice, anything that deals with like feeding families and fighting food insecurity. I want to be able to do those things. I want to speak more. I want to do more professional speaking. So, and I have a few books that have been just waiting to be written, and I have outlines, but I need the time and the space to creatively sit with that and get it done. So that's what the next 5 years look like.
I love it. It's shifting the focus to mission. When we connected previously, you mentioned that you also have a podcast unrelated to communications, PR, marketing. Is that kind of your first step into the mission?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's called The Stylish Vegan. So the Stylish Vegan podcast, and I talk to other vegan celebrities, business owners, public figures, just anyone who wants to talk about plant-based lifestyle, veganism, and how it all relates and how it can be relatable in mainstream.
It's cool. I love it. That's why you're such a natural here today.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I will take that as a compliment. I haven't had my coffee yet, but I am high off of life at the moment.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So you mentioned removing yourself from the day-to-day of the business. Two things come to mind to me. It's typically operations and then client acquisition. Is that what comes to mind for you as well?
Absolutely. Definitely operations first, because I want to make sure that everything is completely solid and we have the right processes in place. Because when you have the right process, then it's just a plug and play, right? So you can put people, you still have to put capable people in, but it's easier learning curve and it's easier onboarding if you have the right process. And so I really want to take my time and create those so that it's seamless and it still sounds like me. I founded this company so many years ago, and I did it for a purpose and for a reason. I wanted to give people a place to be authentic and to really showcase their brand and their personalities and their businesses in an authentic and really real way without all of the extra marketing speak. And so I want to keep that. And so I have to build it in a way that is transferable to other folks and in those processes. So like, that's kind of where I am right now. I'm like, okay, I got to get all of this stuff that's in my head on paper.
SOPs.
Oh, the SOPs. We
Checklist.
gotta love the SOP.
Yep. Yep. Okay. And then, so once operations is kind of taken care of, or at least, to a point where you feel comfortable with it and you can start bringing somebody in, it sounds like then next you're going to think about removing yourself from the sales side, from the acquisition side.
Right. Well, I don't know if I'll always let myself go from that, because I'm such a talker that, it doesn't matter where I am. I'm just like, so let's talk. What do you need? What's your business idea? How can I help? What do we need to do? That is just so natural to me that didn't even realize before I got into this work that I was a natural salesperson. Like, I had no idea. And I think it's because I'm not trying to sell just to sell. I'm literally trying to, or not even trying to, I'm helping people. So because I literally am giving knowledge, it doesn't feel like sales to me. But to answer your question, ideally, I'd like to remove myself from that as a task that I have to do and something that I can do as it feels right and it feels comfortable when I'm out and about doing these speaking engagements or, doing the book tour or whatever the future holds for me in that sense. But we've been really blessed to get so many great referrals that I think that in the terms of like scaling to the next level, just also creating an SOP for that, because I'm a bit spoiled and been a little passive on that side because work comes to us and I don't really have to go out and grab it all the time. But, there's things that I want for the company and for the agency, and that's going to require casting a wider net.
Got it. Okay. So dialing in a really robust referral engine. Okay. A lot of it's funny that you say that you're a natural salesperson. I find that there's kind of two buckets of marketers. There's the introverted marketers that really they just like doing the marketing and they don't like to be out in the front lines doing the selling. And then there's the other type of marketer that's like, hey, I'm that person. They put me in front of an audience. I got this. And it sounds like you're a little bit of the latter.
Yes, I would 100%. I know where my areas for improvement are. That's why I have people on the team who are great at follow up and closing the deal. I bring them in. Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. It's like a moth to a flame. People like to speak to me. They like to talk to me. They want to be involved in whatever it is. And so I capitalize on that. I'm not going to lie. I do. I'm just like, all right, come into my world. Let me show you what we can do for you.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And you mentioned something again that you have people that are helping you close the deal. I think that this is another sticking point for so many agency owners where they feel like they have to be the one doing the entire acquisition process. How have you been able to remove yourself from that piece and trust somebody, with your baby to go and take it across the line?
Lots of deep breaths, meditation, vodka helps, so does champagne. No, but seriously, it's about building the relationship with the people that you work with. Again, I'm spoiled and have been fortunate to have a lot of the folks that work with me have been with me for years. They're not newbies, and even if I have a young team, but they've been with me since intern or their first job, or, I've built that rapport and we have more of a family type atmosphere in the agency. So everybody's invested. I make sure that people are felt, that they are seen and that they are heard. And, I'm trying to develop leaders, not employees. And I know that can be controversial because folks are like, well, you need people to run the ship. But I also feel as if if they have their own agency and they feel like they have agency over their work and what they are doing and their contribution, and they can feel like a leader in their own particular area, the work is going to be better because you have someone they feel ownership in that, and they feel like they're a part of something larger. And there's not just, I'm not just clocking in, doing something for someone else and then clocking back out and my needs aren't being met. So, every meeting I ask folks, oh, personally, what you got going on? What's your side gig? What do you need? Do you need any assistance? I am not a micromanager. I don't care how you get the work done as long as the work gets done and you are using ethical process to do it. Yeah, that I want to build people who are full so that they can be their full authentic self, because that's the premise of the company anyway. So if I'm not helping that happen internally, how are we supposed to make sure that happens with our client?
That's powerful. Like, you're literally practicing what you preach, but not only that, like, you are bringing young talent in and you're developing them, but also allowing them to flourish and grow and to have their area of genius. That's pretty cool.
It feels really good too. I will say that I get emotional when I think about this because I've had folks come through who, they may not still be with JSW Media Group, but they've gone on to do such incredible things. And I was like their first introduction to business or entrepreneurship or just, whatever. And they're flourishing and they still call and they still check in and they still ask if there's anything that they could do. And I can call them as contractors now. I can call them and say, hey, I have a project for you. Let's work on this together. So it's building this incredible network. This is I'm a little irreverent, so I'll use this loosely, but JSW is almost like getting jumped into a gang. Like once you get in, never leave.
Blood in, blood out.
Seriously. So, I try to make it as comfortable as possible. And also I try to live my life without ego. And I think that's what hems a lot of founders and CEOs up sometimes, because yeah, you want the recognition that you made it happen yourself, right? And that you did this and you built this. But it really needs to be a we sometimes. It really needs to be a we as opposed to an I.
You go much farther with team. You mentioned ethical, so completing the work in an ethical way. I think this segues very well into, with advances in technology and AI, how are you all at JSW Media Group? How are you all leveraging AI, staying competitive, but also keeping your work true and authentic and human?
Oh, it has, I won't say it's been a struggle, but it's definitely been an area of contention just for me personally, because I'm a writer. So, like, at the core, I am a journalist, I am a writer. That's where my foundation came from. So, when AI first jumped on the scene, I'm like, I don't know about this. Is this replacing? Is this doing, But then once I really understood it as a tool so that it could free you up for more creative thought, more strategy, more output, giving more to your clients. And what I tell everybody is, all right, we can use AI, but we are not plagiarizing. You better make sure that we are training these models to sound like us. We are inputting our information. We are, and then we are double checking. We are fact checking every single thing. It's not, let me just throw it in chat and see what happens and just cut and paste. No, we're using that as an outline. We're using that as a tool, as a foundational thing. And we are using our brain to make sure that this actually is workable. And also, AI is great for processes. So it helps us create the systems and the process that I talked about earlier.
Mm.
So, I'm going to lean into technology as opposed to try to fight it, because that doesn't make sense. That's not where we're going. If you want to be left behind, then yes, stick to your guns and, oh, I'm not doing it. No, I am going to lean into the technology, check, if the end of the world comes and the robots take over, they at least are going to invite me over because I was nice to them. And I say please and thank you to my chatbot all the time.
Please and thank you. Okay, so making sure that we're leveraging AI, but not depending on it.
Yeah.
Having working with young talent inside of your agency, I'm sure that they're leveraging AI in ways that you and I probably never even thought of. So how are you embracing that innovation and allowing them to test and experiment, but also kind of keep the guardrails?
First of all, Chris, are you insinuating that I am not young as my team?
No, not at all. Not at. But you mentioned straight out of college, straight out of high school.
Right,
So
right.
that's interns.
No, I let them experiment. I let them have fun, but I also have a watchful eye. And, we talk about these things and I'm good at identifying what is straight AI when people give me their assignments. And I'm like, all right, y'all, I know what this is and what this isn't. So let's let's massage this a little bit, but it's just about being a really good partner when it comes to education and a good manager, so I just try to give people, like you said, that space to experiment, but also let's get down to it. This is what's going to fly and this what isn't. And ultimately we need to make sure we're serving our clients in the best way possible. And I give them some encouragement. You're smart. You can do this.
Yeah.
But you have it in you already.
Yeah. Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So, Jameka, you kind of weaved in this multiple times throughout our conversation thus far, but I'm really curious, what are the areas of life that you've had to master on this journey of success?
Ooh, first, understanding that success is subjective and it really depends on what your personal definition is, and not getting caught up in what everyone else defines as success. That was one lesson that I had to learn, especially early on when I was building the business. And I was very, I didn't do it the normal way. I didn't go out and get a business loan, and I didn't write the business plan, and I didn't get an investor. I didn't do like the traditional things. I literally fell into my business and built the plane while, I was in the air. So I feel like I have that basis, that background to be able to share nuggets with folks about, how you should do things. And maybe this is not the best way to do it, even though, kind of do as I say, not as I've done.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to put it. But definitely about success and defining success on your own terms. Two, just learning how to breathe and take a moment and understand that it is not a badge of honor to stay up all night working and burning yourself out, and that sleep and rest is restorative and revolutionary. And you got to embrace it. And I did it for the first few years. I was burning the candle at both ends. I was trying to get it done. And, I still have that type of work ethic. I won't lie. Like, I'm still going to get the things done. And if we have to stay up all night for this particular project, y'all can go to sleep, but I got this. Like, this is what's going to happen. But understanding that needs to be the exception and not the norm. And expecting excellence from those around me, but also learning how to give more grace. Those have been the biggest life lessons, but also understanding that life is life and it's going to life for a lot of people in different ways. And you have to just be able to, what's the word we all use during COVID? Pivot. You got to learn how to pivot and pivot well and quickly. And don't be so inflexible and so rigid that you're not open to new ideas and new ways of doing things, because that's the only way that we all grow.
Words of wisdom from Jameka.
I don't know where they come from sometimes. I just be talking. This is what happens when y'all get me without coffee.
Without coffee and just free-flowing dialogue. I think that's the best. So getting ready to wrap up here, Jameka, if you had to give one piece of advice for an up-and-coming agency owner that's trying to hit that multi-6, multi-7-figure mark, what would it be?
Take the time to truly evaluate your strengths and what you need to do better. And then find the help, the mentor, the staff, whatever it is, to help you get to that goal. Write the plan down and make it plain. People always, they laugh about the whole manifestation thing. And for me, because I am also a woman of faith, manifestation is just prayer for me. So it's prayer is manifestation. It's you put out there what you want and you say it out loud, and then you figure out the steps to make it happen. You have to treat yourself like a client.
Got it. If anyone wants to learn more about anything we spoke about, if they're interested in potentially working with JSW Media Group, or if they want to talk about, the vegan podcast, where can people find you?
They can find me all over. Google me, baby. No, I'm just joking. Like, if you want to hit me up, I am very active on Instagram at Jameka Shamae. It's JAMEKASHAMAE. Or you can hit up our organization Instagram, which is JSW Media. We're very responsive. I am not always the person with the keys to the IG account, but all the messages get to me. We are on LinkedIn. If you want to hit me up on LinkedIn, it's just Jameka S. Whitten on LinkedIn. There should be only one of me on there. If there's another person, tell them I said hi. And, just come to our website. It's jswmediagroup.com and hit us up for a consultation, a discovery call, and we got you.
Awesome. Before we wrap, is there any announcements or anything that you wanted to share with the audience?
Well, I will say that I am also the president of Charlotte Veg Fest here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte Veg Fest is one of the largest vegan festivals in our area. And we are gearing up for that at the next month in October. So excited about that. So if you want to follow us, October 11th in Charlotte's Uptown. So it's going to be a good time. Lots of vendors and programming and thousands of people. Should be fun. It'll be great. And you could get to see me running around being all veganish and, making things happen.
Vegan is in your natural element with speaking with people and leading.
Yeah. Eating really good food and meeting with people. I am also starting a dinner party series, and hopefully that will tour, and it'll be under the auspices of the Stylish Vegan. So I will keep you posted on that, Chris, because if we come anywhere near, y'all got to come and hang out at dinner with us. It should be a good look.
Right. We may have to do a round 2 and really just chat through some of those personal missions and, the events and everything that you're working on.
I mean, I like to talk. So feel free to call anytime and I will jump right back on. And, I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I can still talk.
We'd love to have you again, Jameka. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. This has been a really good start to the day.
You're welcome.